This Saturday, Showtime Championship Boxing returns at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on Showtime with undefeated two-time world champion David Benavidez, who will meet dangerous veteran Ronald Ellis in a 12-round main event. But first, and we'll kick off things here with the opening fight of the evening that will open the telecast. It features the return of 2012 Olympian Terrell Gausha against Jamontay in a 10-round super welterweight fight. First up, as you see on stage, we have Jamontay. So I'll toss to you first, Jamontay, just for some opening thoughts, how you're feeling. A couple days away from Saturday's fight. How have things been going? How is preparation?
Everything been going pretty smooth. I'm just ready to get it on and get it over with. It's my first time in the bubble, and it's different, but everything been going pretty smooth so far.
Thank you. And a real quick shout to everyone, all the media on. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and I'll get to you in the order that you raise your hand. So you mentioned being in the bubble. Everyone has their different experiences that how things are set up, how long you have to quarantine the room. Speak to the experience thus far. How's it been for you?
It's been pretty good. It's just you got to stay in a room. It's taking away the fun from it for real. I usually bring like a shoe lineup so I can go out, go to the mall, look around, sightsee a little bit. We ain't been able to train. We only get to train, I guess, today for one time. But everything else has been good. My weight pretty down low, so I'm just ready to go, ready for Saturday.
That's right. And this your fight this weekend with Terrell Gausha will open up the telecast, but it's an all Ohio affair. So I think some are curious, you being from Cleveland, or being from Cincinnati and him from Cleveland, is there a rivalry there between the two cities?
Not that I know, not with me, but I'm coming to get what's mine, and I know he coming with his best, and I'm coming with my best, so we coming out on top.
That's right. And then we noticed we just measured you up and took your photos earlier today, and we noticed 78.5-inch reach. For a super welterweight, that's almost unheard of. That's nearly it's a couple inches shy of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Do you think that makes a big difference in fights with guys with less reach like Terrell?
Yeah, it make a big difference. I'm gonna be popping the jab a lot. I'm showing my boxing skills off a lot. So tune in Saturday and you'll see.
Great. So we'll toss to media questions here. The first one comes from Cameron Buford. Cameron, you can unmute yourself and you're good to go.
Hey, Mr. Clark, congratulations on this opportunity. I want to ask you you talked about the bubble being different, but on the other hand, does this give you some time to focus in on the fight, kind of zoom in mentally, prepare for the fight?
Yeah, it's a lot of quiet and peace, so I get to focus on the fight, watch over a couple of fights a little bit more, nobody be bothering you, and it's pretty cool. It's a part being away from my family. I wish my family could be here, but in my cut, man, but everything besides that is pretty smooth. I ain't that much of a big complainer, really.
Okay, so what were you able to bring any part of the shoe lineup for the fans to see?
No, I ain't bring nothing much. About some slides. That's about it all.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on the opportunity. Look forward to seeing what you got on Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next question here will come from Jeremy Harris of Fansided. You can unmute, and floor is yours, Jeremy.
Hi, Jamontay. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Good. Kind of looking at Terrell Gausha and his last fight against Erickson Lubin, I'm kind of wondering what you took away from that fight. What did you notice that might be able to help you out?
I noticed he's a slow starter. He kind of pick up a little bit at the end. I guess the fight didn't really start to about the 8th round. So I'm gonna go press the issue and give him the boy the business.
Do you see age being a factor, considering you're the younger fighter? Do you think that's one of the reasons maybe he has to try to pace himself out? Or are you going to try to come out fast because of that?
I'm going to come out and just be the best me I can be.
As far as final question for me, I know that against Fundora, that fight really could have gone either way, and the judges saw it as a split draw. Is there ever any anxiety about leaving it in the judges' hands if you have it your way? Are you trying to avoid that if possible?
I'm going for the gusto, but I ain't going in there looking for the knockout. If it come, it come. But I'm definitely coming out on top regardless, whatever way it go.
I hear you, Jamontay. Thank you and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Next question, Jim Conlon. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, Jamontay. Just in relation to Terrell Gausha being an Olympian as well, what would that mean for you going forward to say that you'd have beaten an Olympian on your resume?
I think it'd be a nice name on my resume and hopefully put me in the title contention. That's what I'm looking for. I get the big fights, the big paydays, and just a nice name on my resume. On to the next one.
Best of luck, Jamontay.
Thank you.
Okay, next question comes from Jake Donovan of Boxing Scene.
Great. Thanks, Greg. Jamontay, appreciate you doing this. I just wanted to ask if Terrell Gausha has been on your radar at all, and if so, like how long you've wanted this fight.
I haven't been on the radar pretty much at all, really, but I'm take the fight as they come, whoever it is. They
Okay,
send
I
their
got you.
name.
And then, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you go ahead. You good.
Okay, thanks. So you said that beating someone like Terrell Gausha will put you in title contention. Would you expect like to fight like Jamal Charlo or Brian Castano like within your next fight? Do you believe like that's where you're at in your career?
I'd love for one of them fights to happen in my next fight. I'll be grateful for that. We could do it on Showtime, hopefully.
All right, very cool. Thanks so much, Jamontay. Good to have you back in the ring. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Jake. We'd love to have that fight on Showtime for sure. And if anyone else has any other questions, please raise your hand. I guess one more question from my side is that this is a busy week of boxing, headlined by David Benavidez and Ronald Ellis atop this card. And but when you look at the betting odds across all of the fights that are happening this weekend, this is the tightest fight of them all. Do you pay attention to things like that, Jamontay? And if so, does it motivate you?
I don't pay no attention, but I'm betting on me for sure.
That's what we like to hear. Well, thank you everyone for the questions. Thank you, Jamontay, for the time. We appreciate everything, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Terrell Gausha will open up the broadcast. We heard from Jamontay Clark earlier in an all-Ohio battle, a 10-round super welterweight fight on Saturday night. We're excited to open up the card with this one. So I guess first and foremost, I'll give you the floor. Terrell, how was training camp?
Training camp been good. I'm ready. I put all the work in. I'm here. I'm ready. Weight's good. Everything's great.
That's what we like to hear. I mentioned to Jamontay Clark that of all the great fights this weekend, Showtime and elsewhere, your fight has the closest odds, Jamontay. It's dead even. It's a pick'em fight. Does that give you any sort of motivation? Does that mean anything to you, Terrell?
I really don't pay attention to the odds because I've always been an underdog my whole life. But with this fight, with the odds, I'm not really concerned about that. But it's a good fight. I'm looking forward to going out there and put on a dominant performance, though.
Great. Just so everyone knows, I did have to lower everyone's hand and just to reset the queue after the last session. So if you could please raise your hand if you have any questions, and we'll get to everyone's question. So you're back. You're in the bubble here, in the fight sphere the second time. How was your first experience? Obviously, not the ideal outcome for you against Erickson Lubin, but how was the experience, and what did you learn about fighting without fans?
It was different. But as a professionals, we got to make adjustments. I'm just happy that we still got a chance to do what we love to do. With the Erickson Lubin fight, I was off for quite some time, and the bubble, it was a little different, but now knowing that, I went 12 rounds and I got a little bit more shook the rust off, I'm looking to put on a great show this time.
Excellent. So we'll go to the media again. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. The first question will go to Jeremy Harrigis of Fansided.
Hi, Terrell. Thank you for taking the time. I'm curious, in your last fight with Erickson Lubin, what were the primary things you took away from that fight? What did you take away that could help you in this fight?
Hey, how you doing? With the Erickson Lubin fight, I feel like I learned a lot. I was able to capitalize on some of the things during training camp that I was doing wrong in that fight. Was, obviously being able to let my hands go more with the southpaw and be effective. And I'm looking forward to landing my good shots. I landed some good shots in there, but just gotta get it done earlier.
Did you feel that you kind of had a hard time figuring out your pacing because of time away, the ring rust? Because once you hit those later rounds, you really kind of pushed the action and hurt him a few times. Is that one of the primary things you noticed?
Yeah, I kind of felt it when I was in there. We as fighters, we always like to say the ring rust won't bother us, but obviously it did. And to his credit, he did a pretty good job. But I feel like I'm more sharp and more ready now. Been working on some different things.
Looking at Jamontay and some of the fights that he's had in the past, whether it was losing a decision or going to a draw, what are some of the things that gives him a problem that you think you can take advantage of?
I know that he's a tall fighter, but sometimes he like to fight, and instead of boxing. So sometimes they give me an opportunity to catch him with some good shots. He like to let his hands go, and that's what I like.
Sounds good. Good luck to you, Terrell.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Next question will go to Michael Ruda.
Thank you. How you doing today, Terrell?
I'm doing good. Yes, sir.
I'm doing good as well. Now, this is going to be your second fight here in the bubble. As you said, the first one, you had such a long time off, and then it was the bubble experience, which is, a lot different to the fighters. Having that experience now, does that make this second go-round that much more easier for you?
Yeah, it definitely do. I kind of take from each experience and just grow from it. Like I said, me and my coach said we either win or learn. So I'm taking what I took from that experience and bringing it here. And I'm definitely the more experienced fighter coming into this fight as well.
Definitely. Now, as well, with it being the Ohio Showdown, how much more extra motivation does that give you for this fight?
It's motivation because, we got a lot of pride being from Ohio. So everybody want to be the top dog. And I'm going to show them Saturday night that I'm the one.
All right. Thank you, man. Good luck this weekend.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I did ask Jamontay, so I'll ask you to weigh in. Is there a rivalry between Cleveland and Cincinnati on the boxing scene?
Yeah, definitely. It is. It definitely is, from the amateurs to the pros, So that's going to make for a exciting fight.
Awesome. All right. Next question will go to Jake Donovan, boxing scene.
Thank you very much, Greg. Terrell, good to have you back on Showtime. So you mentioned that you realized in the past, like some fights you just started a little bit too slow. You caught on later in the fight. Like in training, like how do you prepare for fixing that in the ring? I'm
just doing what you do in sparring. You got to work on the same thing that you're gonna work on in the fight. So just being more busy in the ring and working on different things, creating different shots. And just using my head thinking. Gotcha. And then it's easy to look at your resume and say, okay, well, when you step up, you fall short. But looking at your fights, you're never really out of the fight. So with that, do you kind of view this not so much as a comeback, but as the reminder that you're still a threat at 154? Yeah, for sure. Once I get past this fight, because we don't look past nobody. Once I get past this fight, I'm open to fight the big fights and for a world championship again. So that's what I'm looking forward to do. Get past Jamontay Clark Saturday, and I'm looking to fight the bigger names in the division.
Gotcha. And then I got one more question. A lot of people looking at this fight and they're wondering, like, okay, for all the fights 154 to get made, how did this one get made? And like, people have the theory you're the only guy who's really saying yes when these fights are proposed. So what is it about these types of fights that just, that motivates you?
I like challenges. I never said no to a fight. It's not hard to make a fight with me. I just like the fight. So going in there and hearing them say that Gausha got a problem with southpaws, he don't let his hands go. So that's motivation for me to go out there and dominate and show the fans and everybody that I don't have a problem. I can adjust to anything.
Okay, very cool. Best of luck this weekend, Terrell. Good to see you back in the ring.
Thank you.
You got it.
Great. We'll go to our last question here from Jim Conlon.
Hi, Terrell. I suppose fighting Jamontay, he has a big reach. So how important will it be to get inside his guard and let go with your combinations?
It's definitely important. You don't want to sit on the outside of the shot. So that's something that we was working on in training camp. We know he's a tall, rangy fighter. So we've been working on that. We have a tall sparring. And I'm going to be ready come Saturday to put on the show.
And I suppose, Terrell, you mentioned that he's a tall, rangy fighter. So I suppose you'll be trying to set a fast pace and move him across the ring, move him from rope to rope, and really test his durability and stamina.
Yeah, I've been watching him for a while. We've seen that, he's a pretty slick boxer. He try to move, but also we're gonna test his chin. He's been touched quite a few times. Get him hurt. Looking forward to getting him out of there.
And I suppose, lastly, for me, Terrell, in terms of that last fight against Erickson Lubin, was it very much important to go away and I suppose clear the mind and clear the mindset and really sort of refocus and come back with a point to prove?
I'm sorry. Can you one more time? I'm sorry.
No problem. Terrell, in terms of the last fight against Erickson Lubin, was it important for you to go away for a time, just clear your own head, clear your own mindset, and come back with a new purpose and re-energize yourself?
Oh, that's what you said. Oh no, it wasn't. I didn't go away. Like after that fight, I just got right back in the gym, and just picked up where I left off, so I can. That Monday, I was back in the gym right after I fought, so. I'm definitely ready now.
Best of luck, Terrell.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the questions. Terrell, thank you for the time. Again, opening fight on Saturday night on Showtime, 10-round super welterweight fight against Jamontay Clark, all Ohio battle. Jamontay says there's no rivalry, but Terrell says there is. So, I look forward to seeing it unravel in the ring. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Thank you. Yep. See you at the weigh-in.